Let's let it go.
Dr. Rosie Milligan, one of the most sought-after speakers on the circuit today. Her live internet talk show, Express Yourself, is the most provocative, thought-provoking, and talked-about radio show on the internet. There's no holds barred, and Dr. Milligan puts the B in bold. She brings it every Tuesday live at 10 a.m. Pacific and 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dr. Rosie has been proclaimed the most provocative female writer of the century. Her books include Satisfying the Black Man and Black Woman Sexually Made Simple, Why Black Men Choose White Women, and the book Nigga Please. These books have raised eyebrows across the country. She has authored 21 books and published 350 titles for authors nationwide. Check Dr. Rosie out at drrosie.com for her books, articles, and archives of her internet talk show. Sit at the feet of wisdom. Dr. Milligan is indeed a timekeeper and scorekeeper. She is the clock, calendar, and almanac for Black America. You need to hear her.
It's the top of the morning out here in sunny California. You're listening to the Express Yourself Hour. I am your host, Dr. Rosie Milligan, coming to you as always with nothing but straight talk. My co-host is a wonderful, the fabulous. You guys know how to do it. I'm always looking for an adjective in which to describe him by. I just keep coming up with the word. He's just wonderful. Radio personality within its own right, the most intelligent man that I've seen on the planet. Good morning, Keith.
Good morning, Dr. Rosie. How are you?
I'm doing good today. Really doing good. You know, just in spite of all the stuff we see across the country.
Mm-hmm.
Just glad to be here, as my daddy say, enclosed in my right mind.
Mm-hmm. And above ground, huh?
And above ground, I'm telling you, because it is some stuff going on out there. So what I do is try to keep myself out of the loop and not get entangled with all the stuff that we can't do anything about, and the things that what we're talking about, we don't know enough about it, and it just the little stuff. It's really the thing that we think is the big stuff is really the little stuff, Keith.
Yeah.
Because we're being sidetracked with so much. I think that's why we're looking at, while I'm looking today, look like within a 3 miles, no, not 3 miles, a 4-block radius.
Mm-hmm.
I saw where there was 3 marijuana businesses within 4 blocks. Within 4 blocks.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to say, is it that much pain? Is it mental or physical? Both of those combination of pain that 4 business can sustain itself and pay rent.
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting.
About people trying to self-medicate. Yeah, I think it's, I don't even think it's pain. I think it's just despair and hopelessness, which is probably worse than pain.
Wow. You know, despair and hopelessness.
Mm-hmm.
So people find a need to just escape, right?
They need to escape because I think a lot of people have just gone numb because of the way things are changing and the way the economy is and the things that they have to do. There's no consistency, and I think people are just have kind of numbed out or trying to numb out, which is why they have 4 weed shops within the within a 4-block radius.
I think you're absolutely right. That's why I truly believe, Keith, that this year and thereafter, when it comes time for election, I think we're going to find more apathy than we ever had in our life, because people are feeling like now we don't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, from the last election, with the popular vote, and you had a president who didn't get the popular vote, and now, with this Supreme Justice, where the folks crying out no, and I mean, it's a bad time right now. Don't you think so?
Yeah, Yeah, it's bad, and you know what? You would hope that this is as bad as it's going to get, but I don't think it will. I think we're just starting to see bad times. I hope it gets better.
Yeah,
I hope
I
it gets
think
better.
people are losing faith in the system.
Yeah.
When people lose faith in the
Yeah.
government, we always thought well, the government is your friend. You go to your government when all else fails. So
Mhm.
I think we're really, I don't know, but we'll come back to that. I think our other co-host is on the line now. Tawana?
Shawana,
Yes, I'm definitely here, Dr.
Oh,
Rosie. And
okay,
Keith,
wonderful.
I'm with you.
Right. We were just talking about the apathy that we're seeing among people.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to our topic. And I'm saying there's so much apathy, and we're seeing more now when they're looking at the last election where the popular vote said we want this person, but somebody else end up being president. And now they're looking at these Supreme Justice appointee, and people saying, do the public, are we really the people? Are we the people?
Yeah. Yeah. I think you're supposed to look at your leaders. You're supposed to, what we call our leaders, aren't supposed to have as much clay on their feet as they do. So when you find out that the people that you're actually putting in office may or may not be worse than the average Joe, then you start to lose faith. That where is this country going, and who are the people that are actually leading us? Because we see Donald Trump on a daily basis say something stupid. It's like, how much trouble are we in if this is the best that America can produce?
Wow. Well, things are really happening, So what we're did you want to say something on that before I move on now?
Oh no, I just feel like we're just making it more reality TV instead of taking care of what needs to happen.
and it's not even good reality TV. That's the problem.
No.
It got where at least reality TV, there's some humor and it's funny, but really this is not funny what we're seeing now.
No.
Totally. Yeah.
Well, today I think we have an interesting topic. What you need to know before choosing a power of attorney for finance, a guardian for your minor child, and a business partner. Making the wrong choice of the wrong person can ruin your life, your family, and your children's life. It is important that we stop and talk about these things, because most people don't. They just decide they're going to choose someone. This person been a long time friend. And I bring this issue up as an estate planner. I see people coming in and they decide who they want to be their successor trustee of their trust. They give me a name and I ask the question, did you ask them if they want to do that? Oh, no, they my friend. I mean, we take life too lightly on important issues. You have a person that have 3 grown children. They all in their 30s and 40s. You don't trust them. You don't think they would do right. So, but you're leaving your house. You're leaving everything to them now. You say they don't have much sense, but you're leaving everything to them. And you want me, your friend, to deal with those children who don't have it all while you're here, and you leaving me to do it. And they don't even want to leave anything for that person who's going to do that. And I say something is wrong with this picture here. So sometimes people do the same thing, Keith, for power of attorney. Who you want to be to power of attorney your finance. This is a serious position, because then you have to decide, with a durable general power of attorney, do you want that person to act as if do the same thing you can do while you're alive? Or do you want that person to function only if the doctor say you're incompetent? That means your doctor has put it in writing that you're incompetent. Then this person can take over and make financial decisions for you. I'm doing this show because most people don't understand the difference. They put people on that power of attorney without pointing out that this person can only make decision if my doctor say that I'm incompetent. Because that person at the power of attorney can write checks on your account, open accounts for you, close banking accounts for you, and can even sell your property, sell your car.
Okay.
They can do everything for you. And a lot of people not aware of that. So I think people are passing this lightly with making people their power of attorney.
Okay.
Especially for finance. Now, what I would look for is the financial status. See, we're going to have to do more checking about everything when it comes to financial. If people can check you out before they let you rent their apartment, I think my financial affairs is more important and greater than your apartment. I think I need to know where you stand financially, your credits. I'm serious. Some people say, well, you're going too far. No,
I'm saying, I'm saying yes to that. Yes.
Right.
You do want to check out the credit. I mean, I didn't even think of that, Dr.
Rosie. Yeah. Anybody in a responsible position. Yeah.
It is. Wow. Think about if you can't manage your financial affairs, what make you want to handle mine with caution? That is yours.
Exactly.
You have worked and labored, sweat and tears for what you have, and you just spend it like wildfire. You don't, you're not savvy with it. So what make me think that you are going to handle my financial affairs any different than the way you've handled yours? So people take this too lightly, Keith, when they start doing their estate planning. You know, some people say to me, well, I want Henry to do it because, you know, it's just only right because Henry is the oldest. Age has nothing to do with sense. I'm going to repeat that. Age has nothing to do with common sense and intellect. So people really need to stop looking at, well, he's the oldest child, so I need to put him over it. That's a mistake that husbands and wives make because they don't value the strength and weakness of each other. So if the husband is better with managing money, then he needs to do that. If the wife is better, then she needs to do that. We have to recognize it doesn't make the person a bad person because they don't have these strengths, but it certainly makes us work together and become more successful when we recognize what each person brings to the party.
Yes.
It's just like a partnership.
Yeah. It is a partnership. I mean, it's a serious one, too.
It is, because Keith, say we're in business. You might bring the money to the table. You may not have time to administrate or work the business, may not really even understand every little intricate part of the business, but you understand the big plan that we'll come together with something that we can work and it's viable and we can make money. So you're on your job of doing something else. So we recognize your strength is in financing. So one of the strengths may be in marketing. Mine may be in management. So we have to bring the strength to the table to build anything that's going to be worthwhile. It will have to be built on strength, not everybody's weakness. Now,
because you put together a team, and
a team.
And
your estate planner should be a team.
That's what rich people do. They don't have the same person doing everything. They have people to come in and do things that, because those are those people's strengths. So somebody that's responsible with your money may not be responsible with your medical power of attorney.
Right.
Okay. And, somebody that responsible for your estate, is not the same person that handles your business in case you get sick. Those could be three different kind of personalities because it's the personalities that count.
Exactly. See, anyone that's handling my medical affair, I want them to be strong and tough because you have to go up against the physician who not always working in your best interest. I'm not saying they're doing it on purpose, but it's not for your best interest. So you need someone who not afraid to buck the system, who not afraid to stand toe-to-toe with the physician or the administrator of the hospital. You don't need a weakling just taking everything that they say at face value. You need someone who's going to challenge something, who's going to do some research and know what they're talking about. So you don't need just anybody. You don't need a weakling over your medical affairs, because you have to fight in this medical system now.
Right, and I want to say something about that. In the medical field, when you have a power of attorney in the medical field, a lot of times people don't understand that if you don't state a power of attorney will be given to you in the effect that you may not be able to sign something on your behalf. So get a power of attorney, because you want whoever's going to be making the decision, especially on your health, and pulling the plug, and knowing when is the time and when is the right time or the wrong time. You want to be able to have the person that has your best interests at heart, and it doesn't necessarily mean that your husband or wife has your best interest. So a power of attorney is always needed if you don't feel that your mate always has your best interest, because that person is the one that stands when it's time to make a decision.
And I always tell people in my seminar, this kind of funny, they always chuckle. I said it is important for you to decide who you want to make your medical decision, even though you have a marriage license, Keith, because everybody that's married is not married.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm like the oxymoron, but
hey, back in the day, before when divorces were too expensive, black folks practiced what they call walk-in divorces.
Right.
I divorced her 20 years ago.
Just walk on out, huh?
Just walk on out and keep right on walking.
I walked out on that long time ago.
I left Mississippi and went up north.
And then let that be a medical decision.
Right. You're absolutely right. They walked out of it in Mississippi, went on to Chicago, and remarried.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yes.
Wow. But folks, it is so important. One of the other things you want to look for, you want to make sure that person is mentally and emotionally and physically able to perform the duties that you're asking them to do.
Yes.
That's important.
Mm-hmm.
Is this person emotionally able to do this? Are they physical? Can they go to the bank? Can they handle your affairs? Can they do the things you need? Are they able? And do they have the intellect to do it?
Right. You have leave to room for reevaluation on that. If you decide to do a power of attorney and you do a power of attorney, reevaluate it on a yearly basis so you can make sure whoever you hired is right, like you said, able.
That they're able to
mentally able.
Mm-hmm.
That's why some people, they do with a fiduciary person, and they don't even use financial or something. It doesn't have to be someone in your family.
Mm-hmm.
But you want somebody in your family. You really need what we call like a watchdog. You know how some of the entertainers had a lawyer to watch over this lawyer?
Oh, yeah.
If you have an outside fiduciary person who's doing it, somebody in your family need to know about that person. You just don't leave it secretly. You got somebody over here that your family, nobody even know, your children don't know. They have no idea what you've asked this person to do. I think there need to always be a check and balance system. What do you think?
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, especially the more money you have, the less you can actually trust people when money's involved. When money's involved, especially if it's a lot of money, people's morals can tend to get loose. So you have to make sure that person is actually sound morally.
So what you're saying, Keith, when it comes to money, everybody needs a check and balance system.
Oh, and family included, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, family included.
Right.
Those who
family.
Especially
exactly.
No, because you know what? If you don't check and balance, you have arguments later on. If you don't tell them in the beginning, like Dr. Rosie is saying, say who your trustee is of the estate so that the kids know who the trustee is. Say what the trust says. I mean, why keep the trust hidden from everyone? Say what it says, because sometimes, they use that law thing where, if you question the authority of the trust, then you lose all rights in the trust. But you still have to be able to see the trust. And sometimes if a person hears that, they may be scared just to even ask to look at the trust. So I know that it's happened with a friend of mine. Their mother had passed away, and they left the property. The trustee was over the trust, but he didn't relay any information about the trust, and he used the rights, saying that if you question it, then... Okay. But that's not questioning it. You should be able to see the trust. That's not questioning the trust. That's saying, let me at least see the trust and see what Mom said in the trust. But now if you sit up there and you say, no, this isn't right, now you're questioning the validity of the trust, and you can't do that.
And see, there's a difference in questioning and contesting. It says if you contest what I left you, then you don't get anything. Questioning and contesting is two different things. And people do shut the family out, say, well, okay, if you're going to question me, you don't get anything, then you just question them right onto the courtroom with that. Because if you are a beneficiary of a trust, within 60 days, that successor trustee needs to notify the beneficiary as to what's in that trust for them. I have 3 court cases right now because the family didn't do that. So my attorney is handling that right now because they didn't tell the other people. They didn't let them see the trust. You can't do that, Yeah. So if somebody else knows, you need that check and balance system. Everything about you, your business-wise, somebody needs to know. So somebody can be watching. You want to look at age. There are people who put I want my mama to be my power of attorney. She's 92 on a cane. Don't drive. I love your mama, baby, but that may not be the position for her.
Right.
I get it. I get it. That's the only person right now that you can trust. Then you may have to have an outside person that's bonded, that's licensed to do it. But you do need to consider age. You don't want a person that's 18, but she grown, I put 18, and maybe not even 21. So age is a factor when you start leaving people in charge of your life, because I'm telling you, wisdom comes with living this life for a while. And an 18 and a 21-year-old have not lived enough, do not have enough life experience to make judgment over some of these problems that's going to confront you.
No, they don't.
Right.
No.
So they making A's and B's, they cute, they do this, but don't get it twisted. Some things come with living. Wisdom comes with living. It really does. It doesn't come from the classroom. She's an A student. He's an A student. Wisdom doesn't come with those grade marks that you get in those classes. Those who want to talk to us, call 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. Or you can email us here at Innerlight Radio, INNER, LIGHT, Innerlight Radio at yahoo.com. And express yourself. This is the Express Yourself Hour. We bring you information that can empower you, empower your family, and therefore the community is empowered. So we talked about your financial affair. We talked about health, making health decisions. It's so critical that you have the right person in that place. And if you don't have that person, you become if you're in an accident or become disabled, then someone has to go to court to become your conservator. And I've seen those prices go up to $4,000 and more.
Wow.
When all you had to do was get a power of attorney. and say who you wanted to do
So
it.
when do you suggest that people get this, Dr. Rosie? When do they get it? When do they decide, I want to go ahead and get a power of attorney for my medical? When do they decide, I need to not only get a power of attorney, but a trust? When do we decide to do that? When do we decide to do that?
Anyone who's considered grown, and that's 18, at least 21, you need a power of attorney, because if you're in an accident, young people would say, well, my mother can make the decision for me. That is not the case. She would have to go to probate court. Why? There are people who have certain medical conditions that they don't want their parents to even know about. So if they're in a coma, been in an accident, they come out of that coma, now mother knows all of my business, everything that's going on with me. I can go to court and sue that doctor.
Wow. Okay.
That is why they want you to have an advanced health care directive. That's power of attorney for health. Now, if you don't have that document, something goes wrong while you're in the hospital. There's a medical mistake or something didn't go right. There are times that doctors will, out of courtesy, talk to you about your daughter, about your cousin, your aunt who's in the hospital. But if something's going down wrong, they're going to shut their mouth and ask you, do you have power of attorney? That's why you need to have, and there's many accidents that we see out here with people running into people, not stopping, keep going. Any one of us could be subject to not being able to make medical decisions for us at any moment.
Yeah.
So these things need to be in place. Wouldn't it be heartbreaking for a mother, her son was in a motorcycle accident, he's 21, and you standing there trying to make medical decision, and they're saying you need to become his conservator? You can't make this decision for him?
Yeah. I know my son was in a really bad car accident. My son was in a really bad car accident, Dr. Rosie, and I heard that, he was a passenger in a car, and he had broke his neck in several spots.
Wow.
And
That's pretty bad.
Yeah. And I went to the doctor, and as soon as I arrived, they said, "Oh, are you his mother?" And I said, "Yes, I'm his mom." And they said, "Here, sign this paper quickly. You have to sign the paper." They wanted to put a halo on his head. And I was like, "You want to put a halo on his head? You want me to sign it right now?" And they said, "Yes, sign right now. You don't have any time to think about it. If he moves his neck the wrong way, you're going to jail for manslaughter." So having a power of attorney would have been good. Let's say, for instance, if I didn't sign the paper, he should have had someone else that he knew had his back, because if I didn't sign it, anything could have happened and he could have lost his life. But I'm being his mother, I'm going to do the right thing and sign as quickly as I need to sign.
So
but
they could get to work.
If things were different, what would have happened? What would have happened if I didn't have the power of attorney to do that, and someone else, what could have happened? We would have been in a bad situation. So power of attorneys are, regardless of your age, I think everybody needs one, especially medical. And if you own property, get a power of attorney for your finances and for your property, and get a trust as well. I think it's something that we all should consider. Even getting insurance, health insurance, life insurance. Even if you start life insurance, you could start saving now through life insurance, depending on what kind you get. All of these things are things that we need to consider now, because we get insurance on our cars, we get insurance on our houses, but do you get insurance on yourself? You need insurance on yourself in order to have the insurance on your house, in order to have the insurance on your cars. You have to have the insurance on yourself, because if you get hurt, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
There's so many factors. Yeah, there's so many factors to consider. You got to grow up.
You got what
when
to
you
say.
begin to grow up.
Got a man up. You got a man up, a woman up. It's really important.
Yeah.
These are daily things that people really have to think about. Now, we also know that going into these times now, it is really important for people to come together and do joint ventures, particularly African Americans, to try to sustain their community. If you try to solo it, that's why our community is such in a devastated situation, because everybody's trying to get enough money to buy this building. We're going to have to go in together, joint venture and co-equity ownership. That's going to what we have to do going forward, so we can own something. It's better to own 20 pieces of property with the community, a lot of people owning a piece, than for us to own nothing. What you say?
Yeah. What I said is it's better to have a little bit of something than 100% of zero.
And when you're thinking of that, yeah, a whole lot of nothing. And that's what we kind of getting around to, a whole lot of nothing. But what you have to do when you're going into business with someone, we're talking about what you need to know. Well, I'm going to come back to business. Let me deal with guardian, because that's really critical. If you have a minor child and you don't have anything in place, you are leaving your child out in the cold. If you have a minor child, even if your child is 21, you might want to do a guardianship over what you're leaving that child. Because what child at 18 or 21 knows how to manage your house and your apartment building if you should die when they're even under 21? How many do you think the children would be able to do that?
Very few.
So less than 10%.
Right. So that's why it's important for you to have a trust, a minor trust, putting a guardian over what you're leaving for the child and spelling out how they can use that money and when they're supposed to give it to the child. I would not have the property transferred to the child until that child is at least 25. Give them a chance to get out of college, or at least be 25. That's why we start teaching them every day when they 11 and 12 years old. They should know about bank account. They should know how to balance a checkbook. And then you start teaching them if you have real estate property. Let them show them this is the rent for the unit. People pay this every month. These are the expenses. So if you should make an early transition, now you have children who have some understanding about the business of taking care of their property. Don't just dump it on them when you die and you never told them anything. I think we have a caller, 310. Go ahead, caller.
Caller, 310. I guess they're just listening.
Caller, you want to make a comment? Go ahead. Caller?
310.
They probably not ready to talk yet.
Go ahead, caller.
You want to make a comment?
Yes. Hi, how are you? My name is Yolanda Mills. I'm just calling to talk about the trust a little bit and how important it is. My father passed away April 22nd of this year. And in him passing, he didn't merge the families like my sister and brother. He didn't merge us together.
Okay.
Thank God he did have a trust, because without the trust, my dad ate, and I didn't know my brother and sister well, but they started coming at me like, demanding this and demanding that. But the legal document of the trust, it stopped them in their tracks.
Okay.
So if any listener can hear this, it's really important. Because if without that trust, I don't know what would have happened in terms of my dad's estate.
And you know what happens, Keith, many times once someone make the transition, even if they tell the children, well, I want you all to share.
Oh, yeah.
Before they can put that person in the grave.
Oh, yeah.
You got everybody coming to the person that's in charge, wanting their monies. Big mistake, because you're responsible for that person's debt. You're responsible if they still have taxes to pay. There's a lot of responsibility that you have. So if you start dispersing that money and having taken care of everything that needs to be taken care of, then the burden is going to be on you, because they want it before they go to the grave. They want you to go to the bank, if there's any money, and pull it out and give me my share. They're not concerned with the expenses that's going to come later. So it's really important when you have a trust, to talk to your family people, especially those who are involved with it.
Yeah.
Let them know what's expected. Don't put all the responsibility on the person you're leaving in charge, because they're ready to beat that person up. I mean, they give them such a hassle that they want to just say, here, take all the money, leave me alone, just go with it.
Yeah, because I think
That's so true.
a lot of people are afraid of confronting their own family, so they put they hide it on a piece of paper. So once I'm gone, once I'm dead, I don't have to worry about it. So
that must be what they're thinking. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. Because I don't want my daughter or my wife or whoever have to have an attitude because I have this on a trust or a will, and them bugging me about changing it, and how come this person gets what, and how come this person got more than me, or whatever it is. So instead of dealing with it, just write it all down, and you guys deal with it after I'm dead.
One lady told me, well, I think my daughter be mad if I don't leave her in charge. That's what she can't do nothing to you. You'll be gone.
And that's a fact. That's a fact, because my dad, to just piggyback off of what you had said, Mr. Keith, is that my dad left me executor and trustee over his estate.
Okay.
My sister and brother actually had my dad in their lives more than I did, so they felt that it was totally unfair for him to give me total control of his estate, because guess what? They didn't know me, and we didn't know each other. So who is this girl coming out of the woodworks? Is it true? Is this writing? Did she change anything? We want to see. We're gonna take it. It's a big mess. So when the trust is legitimate, and you sit down before somebody with your loved ones, and they see the validity of the trust, then it kind of shut them up. So it's really important. I didn't think that I needed one because I only have one son. But after going through what I'm going through with my father, it just kind of solidified the fact that, you did the right thing by getting a trust for your own estate. So it's really important.
Yes, it is. It really is.
Yeah. A lot of families split up over this, especially when there's no will and there's no trust. A lot of families kind of split up over the dollars that are left. A lot of hard.
Dr. Rosie and Keith and Yolanda, I've been buying properties for over a long, long time, over 25 years. I've been purchasing properties from people, and I run across probates a lot, and properties that need to go into probate that wasn't even set up for probate, or there's no trust. Sometimes there are trusts involved, and it's just easy to do. But a lot of times you don't realize the work that a person has to do if you don't set up this trust, because once a person dies, you have to start the probate proceedings. And then if the person doesn't have good credit, then you have to get someone else bonded, or do it as a you can't do full authority. You have to do limited authority, and then you have to go to court. And the court proceedings take so long; it takes years, sometimes 2 years, to close out an estate, and it doesn't make sense. If you can take care of it now, I suggest to everybody, just get a trust, make it easy for your kids. And then I saw also trusts that were written up where they lined it out. The kids were kids, and they did assign a guardian. And what they did was that guardian was only able to release a certain amount of money to a 21-year-old. Okay. And they got that money, and I swear they blew it overnight. It was gone. Yeah. Just like a 21-year-old would do it. But it was only a small amount that was released to them, like $20,000, and it was gone. Yeah. So when they were 25, they had a little bit more reasonable sense because they got that lump sum and they saw it gone. And now at 25, you're giving me a little bit more to do something with. Let's see what you do with it. And then at 28, they let out the balance. And by the time they turned 28, they knew what to do and what not to do with that money as well.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
That's why people used to do it like so much at 18, 21, or 25. But the real important thing about that, see, what people don't understand, you all, when you, like you say, you run into people who there was no trust. Now this property have to go to probate. Now, okay, say the three of us own property together, right? And so we're sisters and brothers. So if we go to probate, we're going to share equally, right? But meanwhile, one of us would make a transition. Now you got the probate, the one who made transition, because that person had no trust and had not decided who was going to get their share or what was left to them. So that share have to go to probate. So it'll go to their next of kin. Right. So now you got a double probate. So that's why it's important for us to handle this business. But let's also, as we talked about the guardian. You want to make sure that person, again, I want to see your credit report. It may get bad after I'm dead, but it better be good while I'm living, okay?
Right.
You're not gonna mess up my kids' money. I know you're under certain obligation, but a lot of people are under obligation. You're under obligation to pay your car note, but do you pay it? Right. You're under obligation to pay your rent. But why is the court filled with people who have not done it? So you want to at least have a slim chance of things going right by looking at where a person. Don't be afraid to ask the person. Can't put somebody over your children their money, and they not managing their own. Sure, you saw I have stipulation, but does people always obey the rules of what you leave in place? So that's why you want to make sure it's a responsible person. Make sure they are mentally, emotional. Look at their age. You want to look at all of those factors. It's really important. So you want to do that to protect your minor children. Anybody out there that have a child under 18, I mean, it to me is a sin not to put stuff in place for those you say you love. You spending money on them now, buying them expensive tennis shoes and all these gadgets. But what if something happened to you? Have you made preparation? And those who are living and have adult children living with them, I strongly suggest that you consider having them put on your lease if they're 18 or if they're 20. If they're grown children living with you, you want to add them to your lease, because if you make your transition, that owner does not have to continue to rent to your child. They're going to check their child's credit, and your child can become homeless after you make your transition because they've been living with you all these years. So you want to make sure that their credit is good. Family, please start asking your children about the credit. Sit down and do a credit report. We owe that to this next generation to help them. They think it's okay to be 30 days late. I was only 30 days late about 4 times last year.
Oh, yeah. You better clean that up.
So really
realize when it matters, it matters.
When it matters. When it matters, it matters.
When it matters, it matters to them. Yeah. When it's time to buy a house, that credit being cleaned up matters.
Exactly.
You know, those late costs matters.
Now the next area,
and when you think about it, when you're doing a probate, they are not going to let a person with bad credit be the executor of the estate or the administrator of the estate. So how are you going to let a person with bad credit be the trustee of your trust?
No. So they appoint somebody that you may not even know and don't even look like you, and they get paid the same thing the attorney gets paid. Now, the next agenda, when I said we have to really look at coming together to build some strong business, we can't do it by ourselves. We have to make investment, buy building, buy houses together, because you still own part of the equity, and you can write it off on your tax. And as that house begin to build apartment, more equity, that's equity ownership for you. So it's important, y'all. Let me give the number again. It's 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. Now, if you're going in business with someone, get it real clear. I want to meet your spouse. I want to meet your children on more than one occasion. This is important.
Right.
Here, we go in business, and the next week, your son, since you in the business, want to be hanging around, the pants hanging down, boom box playing music loud, because after all, you're a part of this business, so they're happy that you're in business, so they're going to come around and do what they normally do, act a fool. Okay? So you want to know about that family. You want to find out from that person, hopefully they tell you the truth. Is your marriage stable? That's important because there's a divorce that's going to impact your business because that person might want to sell. You need to have a good partnership agreement saying that if you make your transition, what will happen to your part in the business with your other business partner? Have the first option to buy your spouse or your family out, or do you have to let them become a part of your business? Are you all feeling me?
Yeah,
Feel you.
It matters.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying. Yes.
And,
Go ahead.
I was going to say that, and in saying all that, all of it still ties back to a trust.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so, you know, and one thing about us joining together in business, in businesses is the trust of one another. We have to love and trust one another to even first love one another first, to even talk about doing business with one another. We have to learn how to trust one another. And my thing is, like, say, for instance, a person like me who don't have a whole lot of resources, but I might have a little bit more than that person that's hungry. Well, my resources wasn't given to me just to keep for myself. They were given to me to help people along the way. So I don't think we have enough people who, in this country, who are willing to lift one another up to be able to be in business together. What do you feel?
Yeah, you have to trust that factor have to be in place. But see, when you qualify your business partner, Yolanda, that leaves you closer to the word we call trust, because you know something about them, not just somebody who decides to put their money in the business and you don't know anything about them. Then you need to look at, okay, are you going to be a silent partner? Are you going to put your money up and not expect to be in here trying to tell us how to manage the business? Because you don't know nothing about this business. You don't come down to it. You're busy doing your other stuff. Do you want to be a controlling factor? Do you want to be a silent partner? And in your trust, then you might want to say that for my business, upon my demise, then whatever my equity ownership, you know, you either want it to go to states, you want to sell it, you want it to go to your wife, and then they can buy your wife or buy your children out. Because I don't want to be in a business where I'm obligated to let your wife take your place as a partner, and she's crazy or he's crazy. Okay? So these things need to be covered, because she knows or he knows nothing about the business, but all of a sudden he or she are going to become my partner. So, folks, I'm doing this show because I think it's critical that we understand positions and relationships. If you have a wife that's jealous, or a husband that's jealous, that can impact our business. So get to know.
It definitely can.
Yeah. And if your partner, you might want silent partners who not involved in the management, but you need to state that up front. Let's get it very clear. You're not going to be up in here running the everyday management. Here, who's going to manage this business? If you set it out straight from the beginning, okay, then you can have a successful business.
You're right.
Yeah,
I agree.
We had a great show last week with Dr. Claude Anderson. And those who missed that show, you can go to my YouTube channel and listen to it. To show absolutely awesome. You know, he lays it out how we need to deal business wise, cooperative, business and everything. But folks, it's important that we build more business, and it's hard to try to build it by yourself.
Yeah.
If you still struggling business, Find out if you can invest in. Why we always looking to Wall Street to invest? Invest on Black Street, on your street. Okay?
People need to get together and form little groups here and there and start to make it happen. So we're going to have to just form a group, Dr. Rosie, Yolanda, Keith. We need to do it. We need to start it and show them how we can grow it.
Well, we're going to have to do that.
Let's buy a property together. Let's buy a property together.
Commercial property and all. You guys can go to Dr. Rosie, YouTube, go to Dr. Rosie, YouTube, and click in Dr. Rosie, Dr. Rosie Milligan. Okay, and you want to listen to Dr. Anderson's show last week. In fact, we're going to put this one up, too. I think it's important for people, as my daddy said, know how to act. See, a lot of us don't know how to act as a financial decision maker. Because you know what? Somehow, Keith, we think people just innate and born knowing how to carry out these functions that we have delegated for them. They've never been a power of attorney before. You know, you have people, a person been dead 6 months, and they talk, well, I was a power of attorney. I went to the bank. Power of attorney finance dies when the person dies. And it makes sense. If you finance over my finance and I die, if you had the right to run to the bank and pull all my money out and close my account, so it makes sense to think when you die, the power of attorney for finance, it dies with that person. Okay? So we need to be educated on when someone signs you a duty, they want you to be their power of attorney. You need to find out what are the duties. Somebody needs to mute their phone because Yolanda needs to mute your phone or he going to have to drop you. Yeah, you need to find out what those duties are. And you need to be very clear yourself what those duties are. And if a person is making medical decision for you, you need to decide what you want in your end life. Do you want to be on life support? And I think everybody should make that decision for themselves, you all. It's unfair to have your children or family member trying to make such decision. You need to do it. And you can qualify. You can say yes, but no longer than 2 weeks, no longer than 6 weeks. So it doesn't have to be a yes, just no, I don't want to be on life support. You can qualify. So it's so important. Now, this show is going to air again, I think, at what time, Keith? Isn't it 9? Keith? Yes, it's going to air at 9 Pacific Standard Time. So that way you can go to and re-listen to or send your friends to listen to this show. But folks, it's time that we get it together. It's time that we make the right decision. It's time that we select the right person to be over our business, whether it's your financial power of attorney, your medical power of attorney, guardian over your minor children, or selecting the right person that you need to be in business with. It's time to do that. Again, you can call us at 310-928-7733. 310-928-7733. If you have questions or comments, my email is drrosie@aol.com. That's DRROSIE@AOL.com. And whoever phone is open, you need to mute it.
I think that's Yolanda.
Yeah, we'll get in the background.
We could disconnect us.
Yeah. So Shawana, go ahead and give us your spin on how important you think it is when we're selecting a business partner. Do you have business partners other than your son? Do you have a business partner right now?
I do. My son is my business partner. I do have other partners as well that are, they get involved in the business because I have a lot of lady friends that want to invest. So they came to me and they said, Shawana, I know you're successful. at what you're doing. I want to do it too. So I have a couple of people that I have involved a couple of times and quite successful. I also, my mother and father also invested as well, and it was quite successful. They were quite shocked at what they made, and it was a great venture. But I like to do them and then finish them, and everybody's happy, and then we just reinvest again when another property comes up. But yes, I will invest with other people as well when they're ready to get started. So that's what I'm saying. If a person wants to get involved in a business, you do want to check out their credit, because if their credit stinks, they're not going to be able to get a loan. They're not going to really be able to help. So they probably won't be a good business partner. So you do want to check out their credit. You do want to know their income status in order to be on, to be in there as far as a business partner. So I do check for that. And I do have one other partner that I started with years ago, which was my mate, I should say. He was my business partner as well. And we still have properties together that we own and manage well together without any problem. So, yeah, I'm always open to investing with other people, as far as if they qualify. But I think it's a good idea to try to help and promote, people of color to start doing things like this, because we should start doing it as a team. You could do like a LLC or something like that states what the interest is in the property, and start putting money together and start investing in the community and start changing the community so that other people don't get the value, you get the value of where you are. So I'm definitely open to that. Yes.
I like that. And you say we do need to come together and invest. You said as people in color. I'm going to flip that script. We need to invest as Black folks, because people of color got it going on. They owning these buildings, they're owning these houses. So I'm talking about Black folks is the one that's left out in the cold.
Black folks.
So that
Black folks, we need to come together as a team and start working. There's no I in team, okay? No I in team. It's a we thing. We can grow and we can make our community the community that it's supposed to be, not this, I don't know what kind of community it is. We need to grow it to where how it's supposed to be, not waiting for someone else to grow it for us. We need to do it for ourselves, and we need to come together as Black people. Yes.
And you know what?
I agree.
And when people want to invest, always consider where they are financially, because I don't want you to put your mortgage money into something that I'm trying to build, because then next month you ready to get that return. If you can't afford it, find a way to start saving money to set aside just for investment. Say, well, this is going to be my investment money. You have to budget. You might want to get my book called Budgeting Made Simple. Everyone need a budget. That's your roadmap. If you plan on becoming economically sound and powerful, you need a budget so you'll know where you're going. That's your blueprint. So you might want to set aside $200 a month or whatever for investment only. Don't take your rent money thinking that you're going to have your return next month, because folks would do that. They take money that they can't afford. So when I say can't afford, I mean cut out something that you've been doing for the sake of investment. If you've been getting your nails done, okay, say you're going to do your own nails for the next 6 months. Everybody listening can find a way to shave off of something to put some money over here in a pot so you can start making an investment. It's nobody out there that can't save any money. I don't care what you say about how low your budget is. You can cut back in the kitchen. You can take your lunch versus buying lunch every day. Folks, there is no one on the planet that cannot save something. I don't care if it's $1 a week. Start saving something. If you start, and when it begins to grow, the more you will want to save. When you start watching money grow, you don't want to spend it because it looks good. Just, I got $10,000 in the bank now. You don't want to spend any of that. You begin to get stingy. That's why people with money, a lot of times you hear people say, she's so stingy. That's why it feels good to have a reserve. Right, Shawana?
Yeah. Yeah, it does. I was just thinking that to myself. I said, people tell me all the time, Shawana, you don't spend money on yourself. I said, I certainly do on my investments. I mean, I'll spend money, buying myself something here and there, but just to go out and go shopping, I'm not that person. I go shopping. When I shop for houses. That's my shopping. I like shopping for properties, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to take a ugly property and make it absolutely beautiful, to put a family in there, to do all of those things. That's my thing, and that's what I like to do. So, yeah, investing is the way, and diversify as well. Check out the stock markets, open up to that. I mean, there's a lot of different ways to invest as well. But, the stock market is something you have to learn, and
right.
You have to learn that. But it's easy.
Right.
Once you do it, it's so easy to do.
But invest in
there's so many
something.
different ways. Invest in something.
And you know
invest
what?
in a CD.
Yeah. And Keith, when as quiet as it kept,
Yeah.
there's nobody on the planet that can't save money. You know why? I guarantee you, everybody out there listen to me can go a whole year without buying another pair of shoes, without buying another outfit, without buying another wig. In fact, I just cut all my hair off, so y'all, I look cute. I look cute, okay?
Can't wait to see you.
You did the big chop, huh?
Yeah, I did the big chop. And I want people to know you're not defined by your hair. One of the reasons I want people to stop all this fussing and 40 wigs and can't get this straight and spending all this money. And I get so angry, Keith, when I see a little 7-year-old with hair down to her butt and mixed with color. That's child abuse. If I was a social worker, I would write you up. I mean, it's ridiculous. You starting kids off not being satisfied with their hair, not being satisfied with who they are as a 7 and 8-year-old. What is going on? Have you guys seen that?
Yeah.
You see a lot of stuff nowadays.
It's disgraceful.
You see a lot of
It
stuff.
is.
Gone all the way down to like 3 or 4 years
that's
old.
Self-esteem you're messing with. Yeah, you're messing with their self-esteem.
Yeah.
They have to do this kind of stuff in order to be recognized, and you don't have to do that type of stuff. You don't want to be in with what this little crowd is doing, because the crowd can do anything, and you're teaching them to do anything. Just be with the crowd. No, you got to be an eagle, fly above, where you see everything and not have to worry about what everybody else is looking at.
Yeah, you start being judged by your mother when you're very, very young.
So you're setting that child up. Now, once you take a 10-year-old and you put all that long hair on that child, all the way down to her butt, she's not going to ever want to be without that hair. Now, you got somebody from now to their 80 buying hair. God dog it. Come on, you all. Give me a break. Give me a break.
That's where it starts.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you guys, I want you, as we close, remember, when you're selecting a power of attorney, make sure you know that they are financially sound. Because if you spend all your money, if you get a chance, you're going to spend up mine. So you ain't being my power of attorney. Okay, I'm running a credit report. I'm going to run that credit report every year to see, because, people change. They good right now, but tomorrow, they ain't who they were yesterday, okay? So I ain't playing. I work hard for my money. So whatever I'm leaving, I don't want it to go like water, because it didn't come like water, okay? For my medical decision, I want a gorilla-like person, because I want you to step up in that hospital if they're not doing the right thing, and I want you to take some action.
To raise some sane, like my grandma used to.
Raise some cane. That's what I'm talking about. And if you're going to be my business partner, you got to have good credit. You can't have no crazy husband. Your wife can't be crazy. Your children got to have good sense. And I want to know who your mama is. Come on,
Yes.
No, not mama.
Yeah, because it may run in the family and just haven't come out of you yet. Okay? Okay. You guys, thanks to my co-host. It's been a wonderful show. You all tune in every week and tell people this is the place to be on Tuesday from 10 to 11. Most provocative talk show on air right now. And you know what? We ain't scared up in here. We ain't scared. So y'all better listen. You guys have a great day. See you next week.